My next guest has made national headlines. You've had news outlets from all around the country writing about her, talking about her, and which is sort of rare when you are the mayor of a small town in Chicago. Tiffany Henyard is the mayor of Dolton, Illinois. And there have been all sorts of stories written, folks talking about what she wears, talking about her conduct, allegations about spending, you name it. There's been lots of drama, if you will. She joins us right now. I'm glad to have you here in studio. And so first off, so there are a couple of things. You're the mayor of Dolton, and then also there's a township. So explain to folks the difference between those two and what your jobs are.
Sure. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you allowing me a platform to speak my truth. I'm the mayor of Dolton. I got elected in 2021, becoming the first female mayor of Dolton, and the youngest. And then I got appointed to supervisor a year later. So a mayor, we are all about services. So cut trees down, sidewalks, things of that nature. Supervisor is strictly resources. So help pay your light bill, gas bill, water bill. I even help bury your loved ones. I pay mortgage, I pay rent. It's a resource center. So
okay,
that's the difference.
So Dolton is a town about 20,000. How large is the township? The township covers what?
I cover 190,000 residents.
Okay.
I'm over 17 towns.
Okay, so
Yes.
and for the township, are those elected positions or appointed positions?
Yes, it's elected. My predecessor passed away, and I was appointed to his seat, therefore taking the rest of his term.
Okay, and for the different jobs, so Dolton pays you what as mayor, township pays you what?
Sure, so my mayor position is $50,000, which was already there. And my township position is $224,000, which was already there. When I got sworn into either seat, it came with the salary, which everybody prior to me received.
Now, are both of those deemed full-time jobs?
Well, no, part-time.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So let's first deal with Dolton. So
Sure.
Your critics say that you have a significant security detail. First of all, how large is your police department in Dolton, and what is your security detail?
So we have about 45 officers in our village. My security is warranted due to the fact of threats and things of that nature, but what people are not stating is it's in our CBA. That's our collective bargaining agreement. That's our union contract. So it comes with the seat. That's what people are not saying. I didn't make this up. I didn't just create this and say, I want security.
How many officers is it?
How many officers is what?
On security detail.
I'm not gonna say how many due to the threats on my life. So,
but if it's in your CBA,
it is in my CBA. I'm not doing anything wrong. I even went to court due to the fact of people suing me saying I cannot have a security detail, and I won. The judge said I can't have a security detail because it's already in a CBA.
Okay, and so that's one of the issues there. You have other trustees who suggested that the city is in a deficit. What is the state of the city's finances?
So we are in a deficit, but it's not what everybody's claiming it to be. They're going around with false allegations of $5 million, $7 million, $8 million. It's all false. Our deficit is $2 million.
$2 million.
$2 million.
And what's your annual budget?
Our annual budget is $30 million.
$3 million? $30 million.
Yep.
And so what led to that deficit?
So it comes from them not paying bills. So say for instance, we have a board meeting and they say, well, we're gonna pull this out, pull that out. If they continue to pull bills out, later on, what do you have? A deficit, because the bills still due. Just like us not paying our mortgage or not paying our light bill. We still owe the money at the end of the month.
When you say they, who's they?
The trustees, the board,
Okay.
because the board is the one that votes to pay the bills.
So so you have two types of government out there. You got strong mayor, city council, then
Yes.
you have city manager, form of government. So mayor and the trustees control the city's finances.
Well, yes, when it comes to the budget, just the budget.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So in terms of who's deciding to pay the bills, so this deficit that you have, you're saying that's a result of the trustees not paying the city's bills?
Correct.
But do you have the resources?
Yes.
To pay the bills?
Yes.
So how's there a deficit?
Because they won't pay the bills. So it's still on our books. Until we release the check and pay the bill, we still count it as a deficit.
So you say, so you have the money to pay the bills.
Correct.
You're saying your fellow trustees won't pay the bills.
Correct.
Why?
I'll give you prime example, just to make me look bad. I'll give you prime example. My job is to govern. That's what a mayor does. I'm an executive branch, they're the legislative branch. When I go get money and bring back to our community, many grants, they refuse to pay things for residents. I created a roof and window program. They would not vote to pay the vendors to fix the roof and windows for our seniors and our veterans. Why? The money's there, it's in a bank account, you can see it. Why would they not pay the bill? So therefore, that program got on hold. These are things I created when I became the mayor of Dolton. But yet, people don't see your vision. It's people trying to take over government, and I won't allow it. They didn't do it prior to the other mayor having it. Why did nobody do any of the things they doing to me?
So when all of this began, this not paying of the city's bills?
So it's funny you asked that question. That's a great question. All this turmoil started right when I became mayor. So that showed me right then and there that the plot was to remove me from office. Right in the beginning, I wasn't even in office for a good month before my board started to sit here and start to try to remove me from my seat that I earned and won by 82%, remind you, 82%, taking out an incumbent that had the seat prior to me.
So when your fellow trustees, let's say Kiana Belcher, she's quoted as saying mismanagement of funds. You're saying, no, it's not mismanagement. They're just not paying bills.
That's correct.
And so when you hear that from her, then what's the response? And if that's the case, have you released publicly the list of bills that they don't pay?
Yes.
And where's that?
So that is normally on my website, or it is on my social media platform. And I verbally say it at board meetings. You can see it when they go and they take out bills. They verbally tell you what they're taking out. Therefore, people can just add it up.
In the council meeting?
In the council meeting. So you can know and you can follow exactly what bills they're not paying. And it adds up. Eventually you get to $1 million, then $2 million. And then also they have legal bills of $2 million of suing me for different reasons, like what you're saying to you.
Who sued you?
The trustees. The trustees. They take me to court for anything they say, right? Then we go to court and I won. I won over 24 cases. Yesterday I just got word I won another case. So I'm 25-0. So how is it possibly the mayor of Dolton? People got to pause and think like, dang, she keep winning. If she keep winning, we got to look at the trustees. They're the ones that's spending the money on legal bills. Their attorney, which is legislative counsel. No, for what?
So you're saying that the trustees are not paying bills.
Correct.
In addition, by them constantly suing you, they're now piling up legal bills. Correct. And that is what's also contributing to the deficit of the city.
That's correct. And then we also had contracts that was needed to be negotiated when I came in office for police, for fire, and for public works. So once we negotiate some of those contracts, of course that adds to the deficit because now you got to increase people pay. And we've done that. You got retro pay, you got all kinds of things that take into account. But what they're not telling you is what I'm telling you here. People got to state facts so people understand. Right now, just throw this out there, throw that out there, and no facts to back it up.
What I'm trying to understand is this is not a large city. Mm-hmm. Okay, I spent 6 years in Chicago, and so whether you're talking about Dolton, Harvey, we're not talking about large cities.
Right.
There's a whole lot of drama for a town of 20,000 people.
I agree, but it's led by one person.
Who?
Their legislative counsel. He wanted to take me out of my seat.
Who is that?
That is Bert Oderson.
So you think all of this is because he wants to beat you?
Yes, he wants the position of corporate counsel.
Explain that.
Corporate counsel is the one that run the day-to-day for a village. They're the one that sit next to the mayor at the board meetings, and they basically have all the lawsuits. So anybody that sues our village, he will be the person that go and defend it. So it's all about contract. It's all about a power grab. That's all it is.
So is he a fellow? He's a trustee?
No. He's the trustees' legislative counsel. So they use him to fight against me. So I'll give you another example. They just had a secret squirrel meeting. What I mean by secret squirrel meeting, an illegal meeting they had at our park district. When they had our park district,
you say it's a legal meeting. Why are you calling it a legal meeting?
Because they cannot go and have a quorum. That's the open meeting violation of 4 people. They do that every time. So now they're trying to have their own separate government. When we have board meetings, it's the first of every month.
Yeah, first of all, official board meetings have to be posted.
Correct.
Have you filed any complaints with the state attorney general?
Yes.
Saying they are meeting illegally?
Yes, so we working on that, meaning we posted it and we filed it. So now we're just waiting on a response for that. So once we get the response, we will share it with the public. But you can't sit here and have your own separate government. We either gonna get along or we're not. But we're not gonna get along. You wait till election time and therefore you run against me. That's how this go. But yet you put all this negativity in our village, putting everybody in danger, and I don't appreciate that.
When you say putting everyone in danger, how so?
Like you have people that come out from New York, people that come from all over and fly into our town just to get stories and follow us around. And then they go in our village halls, harass our residents, harass our staff. So it's become more than what people are seeing.
So you're saying, so because of the attacks on you, you had stories in the New York Post, Fox News, other places, and you're saying all of that has contributed to these attacks directly on you and residents?
Correct.
You've been, talk about the threats that you had to deal with.
Oh, wow. Tons of threats. It's in email, it's in text form, it's on voicemail. People come to our village and threaten us. People have been arrested for coming and threatening us. It's all types of things it's a record of that warrants why we need security. And it's said, because people got to understand, I am a single black parent with a daughter, 4-year-old, that go in and out of my house. You got people pulling up, taking pictures. You even got that trustee, that Kiana Belcher, came to my house, took pictures of my house, and then spread it out, gave it to everybody, causing me and my family to be in much danger. And these are the things we reported, we talk about, we tell people. It's just a vindictive against me, and I don't appreciate it at all. I just don't.
When you look at how you're being framed, you are being called crazy, deranged, saying that you are stealing funds. You also you have a charity that from the Attorney General's office has, I understand they sent a cease and desist letter to your foundation.
I don't know nothing about that. I'm not crazy. I'm not deranged.
You have Tiffany Henyard Cares, your foundation. So the Attorney General's office hasn't reached out to you regarding your foundation?
So I want to set the record straight. I don't have a foundation. I am a supporter of anybody that's struggling with cancer. My mom had breast cancer, and I'm always push anybody that has that. If someone uses my name to push their charity, or if you say this is Tiffany T-shirt, people gonna buy it. Because right now I'm considered what? Clickbait. People make money off of my name by views. So you just say my name.
You say you don't have a foundation.
I do not. And that's why I tell everybody, go do your research. I'm not on anything.
So when we see all of this back and forth, when we see this going back and forth, have you, and I've seen this happen before with school districts, I've seen this happen before with city councils, have you called in the state to come mediate?
Did I call in the state?
Have you reached out to the state to come in and mediate what's going on here? So I've seen school boards where you have lots of drama, and Texas Education Agency, comes in and deals with that. You're having these issues there. Have you reached out to state lawmakers? Have you reached out to state representatives, senators to say, hey, how can we resolve these issues? Because if they're not paying bills, if legal fees are piling up, that's just more taxpayer money being spent.
Correct. And yes, we have. So maybe 2 people might have reached out to us in the beginning. We was doing kumbaya. We was having meetings, and we was talking about what we have an issue with one another. The sad thing is, it just reminded me of high school. It's just a he say, she say thing. Well, I don't like you because of this, or I don't understand this. It was more of that than basically taking care of the business of the town. We got elected to serve. That's it. We didn't get elected to make sure we like one another. And that's why I get upset with people that are in government. I want them to put their difference to the side and do what's right for the people. That's it. That's why I'm in this seat, because I care about my town. I won by 82% because people know and they saw me doing the work.
So so let's talk about, because I've read different stories and I'm trying to understand what they mean. So let's talk about a meeting. Your critics say you came dressed up as Nino Brown playing Bitch Better Have My Money. Did that happen?
Oh, wow. Okay, so let me clear that up so we can understand. I did not come as Nino Brown. I did a scene from Martin. One thing I am, I'm young, so I try to make sure I reach my young voters.
You did a scene from Martin. Where? Was it at Dolton or Thornton Township?
This is Dolton. This is all of the village, really.
Okay, got it.
All the smoke and the heat coming from my mayoral seat, but they mixed the two because people don't understand the difference between the two. But I did come as a scene from Martin. I even made fun about it and did a skit and posted it on my TikTok just to show people my sense of humor side. Because at the end of the day, you got to meet the voters where they are. You got to meet the youth where they are. And that it did work. People pay attention to the meetings. They come in, they check out and see what's going on. And just give you a little more clarity of it. We had an election. And I was being funny about it. Somebody knows something, meaning somebody knew where the votes went. During the election, the night of the election, we won, meaning one of our candidates. And then come like a week or 2 later, all of a sudden the votes disappeared. So somebody took all the votes through mail-in ballots. So I went in and I was like, somebody knows something. That's all it was. And it was before my meeting, not during my meeting. And then you can watch it, you'll see it was before. Everybody laughing, even the people that's into it with me. Everybody laughed, because that's all it was. It was just a sense of humor, and they took it and flipped it into this big thing that you see.
So if that's the case, then are you looking at making adjustments in terms of how you operate, how you govern, because they're criticizing that, they're criticizing you putting up billboards. I mean, literally, they're criticizing attire, you name it.
Yeah, so it's sad to see that, because you would think somebody will reach out and say, hey, Mayor, I want to work with you. Let's sit down and talk and go over things that I think you should improve or change. A lot of people just upset because I am a trendsetter. I am a trailblazer. I am showing people what they should have done with the seats, with an S, before I took over. And as you know, I want to do the work. So I ask the lawyers what I can and what I cannot do. And when they tell me what I can do, I go and I execute. There's nothing wrong with billboards, because they are what? Providing service. If it was something so wrong with billboards, people wouldn't have cut our phone lines. I'll give you an example of other things we're dealing with. They cut our phone lines over at my supervisor position, because that's what we put the billboards up. It's talking about service. Talking about
they cut our phone lines. Who's that?
They cut our phone lines. It was the college, South Suburban College.
Okay.
And they went ahead and service in over 30 years, never been cut. But the minute I put up a billboard, the line get cut. So now when people call the phone number, how do you get services? So now you get people complaining, saying the number don't work, you got all these issues, things like that. But these are the things I'm dealing with that people don't know, the public don't see, and you don't never hear me talk about it. I just go through the motions and just deal with it. But it actually has been working. All our numbers are up by 3-4 times in every department, especially the food department.
Which our numbers are up, what numbers?
The numbers, so for instance, I'll give you an example. So our food pantry, we used to feed maybe 100, 150 people a day. We now feed 500 people a day. So when people talk, they should go research the numbers of back then and then research my numbers and compare. I'm putting that together just so I can show the public, because now it's all about showing people that everybody been lying this entire time doing a smear campaign. So now I'm going to show them, and then now you judge. Because y'all all judging, meaning people out there are judging off of hearsay, false allegations, and not facts. Get facts first, and then make your judgment.
Take me through what took place with the change in pay for the Thornton position. What your critics say is you led an effort to cut the salary if you don't get re-elected, but the salary stays the same if you are re-elected.
And see, that's again what I mean by research and what I say the media and everybody doing the smear campaign. It's an ordinance already on the books. They didn't tell you that, right?
No, what's the ordinance?
The ordinance is on the books. My predecessor, he created that ordinance, and it's already there. That if he was to run or not run, that the salary drops. It's already there.
Okay, so you're saying prior to you coming there, that was that his decision, or was that the Thornton Township trustees' decision?
Well, it's them as a group, because they have to vote on it. It's
right.
Ordinance form, so yes, it was everybody's decision.
So you're saying that predated you?
Yes, and it's there. I have the proof for it.
Okay,
yes.
so the salary is currently what?
For myself, $224.
So when there's the next election, then if the current supervisor is not reelected, then it drops to what?
25.
Do you know what the rationale was for that?
Well, it was, like I just stated, it was already on the books, but no one did the research. They went and did this whole story of, hey, Tiffany did XYZ. Now, don't get me wrong. We did cut the prior salary was $50K.
So, I'm sorry, cut what?
$50,000. The ordinance that I'm talking about.
Right.
It was $50,000 that they created. Now, we cut it in half. We did do that because everybody said we make too much money. So we did do that.
Okay, but it was cut from what, 224 to 50?
No.
What I'm trying to say, what was 50?
The ordinance that they created.
Okay.
Meaning the previous person before me. That's what they created before me. So it was $50,000. So no matter what or who ran against that person, it was already dropping to those numbers.
It was dropping from
whatever their salary was, which is the 224
to
$50,000.
Okay, and then when you came in,
I dropped it to $25,000. All I did was cut the 50 to 25 in half.
And why was that?
Because everyone said the salary was too high. So all I did was just reduce it by half. That's it. But do you understand what I'm saying? It was already on the books. It was never gonna stay to something, ever. It was always gonna drop down.
And you're saying that predated you?
It does, yes. We have the ordinance. If you like the ordinance, we can give it to you.
What is your relationship with the township trustees? Because again, there are two different entities here.
Correct.
How many trustees are you dealing with the city of Dolton?
6.
6. How many are you dealing with Thornton Township?
4.
Okay. So do you have issues with the Thornton Township?
Actually, I don't. It might be one person that might not want to agree with things there, but everybody else is on board. I have no issue like I do in Dolton.
So what you're saying, most of all this drama is really happening with the city of Dolton.
Correct.
The trustees on Thursday voted for a resolution asking the FBI to investigate. Do you support that to help clear you, or do you believe their action was wrong?
So, as I stated, and I made a statement for the news, there is no subpoenas in my office and no one that we know of regarding the investigation. So
right now, what I'm saying is they passed a resolution calling for a federal investigation. And so what I'm asking is, are you saying, hey, if I did nothing wrong, fine, y'all come and investigate, or do you believe the action of these trustees was improper?
I think they should investigate everybody. And that way you see who is clear, period. And I will talk to this more at my board meeting on Monday. Because if you're gonna do one, do everybody.
Well, first of all, if the federal authorities, I know how federal investigations work. Once they come in, they don't look at one person. They actually examine everything. We're chatting with the mayor of Dolton, Illinois, Tiffany Henyard. She joins me here in studio. So I'd asked you before we went to the break. I talked about again this charity and the Illinois Attorney General's office. This is from CBS affiliate there, says that the accusation comes at the same time the Illinois Attorney General's office told Henyard's charity multiple times in recent months to stop improperly soliciting donations because it had not registered with the state as required by law. And you say that's not your charity.
Correct.
Okay. So were you ever... So show the video here, 'cause I'm trying to understand this here. So this is a video of you marching with the charity. So what is this?
So what they're not telling you is we literally walked to Springfield to create a bill to help anybody that suffered from cancer, whether it's the village of Dolton, Thornton Township, and then I increased it to the state of Illinois. And that bill will help people by giving them $10,000. And that's a bill that we actually are initiating, and we're still working on it. When I went through the Republican states, the Republican areas, we didn't have any issue. Everybody was on board because everybody is suffering from cancer or knows someone that passed or is actually going through it. So that was the whole purpose of the walk, to basically bring awareness and bring people together. That's what the whole purpose of it is.
But if you had, so there were folks with signs saying Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation. Who was that?
What do you mean? It's everybody. Everybody was there.
No. What I'm saying is, what is the Tiffany Henyard Cares Foundation? You said it's not affiliated with you at all.
Correct.
Well, what is it?
So someone made up a foundation. They named it after me, and they like my work that I do in the community, and it's called Tiffany Henyard Cares. So we all went.
But they weren't registered. Have you contacted them and told them you can't use my name improperly?
Well, my lawyer's handling a lot of that stuff, so all I can tell you is that I'm not the one on anything. That's the only thing I can tell you right now. So I'm just trying to answer to the.
So you're saying there's a foundation that's not registered, but it has nothing to do with you?
Correct. That's true.
Okay.
That's
so
true.
you're not aware of any of the work that they've done, money that they've raised, anything along those lines?
Correct.
Okay. Again, going back to your trustees, they have talked about travel. So let's speak about that. When you're traveling, are you traveling on behalf of the city of Dolton or Thornton Township?
It depends. It depends on what it is. So if I'm going to Recon, Recon is a big platform for economic development where people go from all over. It's the largest in the nation, and everybody go to basically promote their plot of land. So you want to bring a Starbucks to town. You want to bring, for instance, mine was a trauma center. So things like that is what we go for. And then our job is to bring those things back, work on a plan. It might not happen this year. It might happen 2 years out plan. And that's what people don't understand. They think it should happen right now. You went to this conference. What did you do? Right now, you could be working on a deal, and come the next term, the next mayor or the next trustee or whoever will benefit from it. That's how it works.
Do you have policies in your city as it relates to travel, as it relates to flying first class, what types of hotels to stay in to minimize expenses for the city?
Well, we have a budget. So as long as it's in the budget, you can basically go to any conference. Any conference you choose.
No, I understand the budget, but so for instance, I've covered City Hall, covered county government, where they establish, where they say, like for instance, City of New Orleans has a policy that city officials don't fly first class.
Okay.
Do you have that?
We do not.
Do you believe you should have a policy? Because again, the critics are that you're flying first class, that you're staying in four-season hotels, high-dollar hotels, having what they call extravagant dinners, and those are your critics. Are you as a city official, in order to make sure that you'll be on reproach, looking at establishing a city policy in terms of how money is spent when traveling?
This is the way I feel about it. People will talk about anybody because they're not doing the work. They only talk about the people that's at the top, the ones that are doing the work. They telling you about travel. I'm in your studio right now talking about travel. What we should be talking about is the $15 million I brought back to my community.
No, I understand that.
No, I know, but I'm pointing it out. But we arguing over travel.
No. But the reality is, this is a conversation that members of Congress have to deal with. That mayors, city council members, county commissioners. As I said, I've covered Fort Worth City Council, Travis County Commissioners Court. Have covered City Council in Dallas, and this is one of the things that people often look to. They look at in terms of public officials, being proper use of taxpayer dollars. And one of the areas, this happened with Kwame Kilpatrick when he was mayor of Detroit. He was highly criticized for the use of the city's credit card and how he was traveling. And so what I'm saying is, if you have those critics, we're not talking about a large city. We're not talking about a massive budget. And so do you believe it's proper to have a city standard that applies to you and all trustees and city employees that says, sure, you can fly, but you fly economy, not first class. And then if you stay in hotels, you don't necessarily stay in Four Seasons or a hotel like that. There are Hyatt, Marriott, or whatever. And so because of the criticism, do you believe in creating that type of travel policy?
I sure do.
And will you do that?
Yes.
Okay. One of the things that also, going back to your critics of your trustees, they're alleging financial improprieties. When it comes to documents, they say that you won't turn documents over. When it comes to your city's budget, how is that handled? Is there a city treasurer? Is there a city auditor? Normal operations in the city, there are people who handle those different things. And so when you're a trustee, they can make those requests and those documents are produced. How does it work in Dolton? Exactly
what you just said. Every document we produce, every statement we give them. They sued us. That's another lawsuit they sued us for. And guess what? We won. Because that's why I'm trying to explain to everybody. They just saying stuff. There's no facts to it. We go to court. We prove to the courts that we're doing our job, which is providing them with documentation. Once we give the documentation, guess what? We win our lawsuit. And we've been giving it to them through email. It's in everybody's email. I've showed that in videos. I've showed that at board meetings. And I've showed people that, hey, they said they didn't get it every single month. All the documents.
But for the people who don't know, explain the process though. Okay. You got a mayor, you got trustees.
Correct.
Who are the city employees who that's their job? So do you have a city treasurer?
We have a finance director. We have a CPA, which is our accountants. Yes, and we have auditors. We have all that.
So the finance director should have the financial records for all transactions with the city.
Yes, and she gave them to him. That's my point. Through email. And we showed that. We proved it in court. Once again, we won in court. We won. They said that, but then we showed y'all that they was lying by producing an email showing we gave them every document they needed. But they go and they put on this show for the world and then want to sit here and criticize people by saying she's doing wrong. I'm not doing wrong. I'm proving it every single time I win a court case. Again, 25-0. They ain't won not one court case, but they keep saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. That's not true, because we go to court for everything they claim I'm doing. But every time we go to court, I win. If I'm doing wrong, why am I steady winning? That can't be true. That's the narrative they putting out. I have 2 powerful seats. One, I'm the mayor. The other, I'm the supervisor. I am over 190,000 votes, whether people like it or not. That can sway an election, no matter what people say. I am an influencer. They only go out to people that can influence people's minds. And right now I have the youth. I got everybody that loves Tiffany Henyard, because I've been doing it since day one, since I was a trustee, where I did 2 terms. And I came out of every election victorious, every election. So now, because they can't beat me, they got to do this smear campaign to convince public opinion that I'm bad for them.
So you said 2 elections. You were first elected in 2021?
No, 2013 was my first election for trustee. I was a trustee. I sat where they are.
Right.
That's why I know the law.
Council.
Yes.
Elected mayor 2021.
Yes.
Term is 4 years?
Yes.
Okay. Plans of running for re-election?
I'm running for both my seats. And I'm going to win them.
So, and when is the election for Thornton Township?
2025.
So those elections are at the same time?
They are.
And folks who don't know, the township covers how many different?
17 cities. 17 cities. Which is governed by all men, which I am over. So you already see what all the problems I have.
What you mean of the 17?
I'm over 17
towns in a township.
Correct.
16 have male mayors, you're the only female.
Correct.
Okay. Go to my panel with questions. Larry, you first.
Yeah, sure. Mayor, thank you for providing, answering Roland's questions and provide some clarification, because I heard about the story too, and I was intrigued when I realized that you were going to be on the show and have the opportunity to talk to him. And like I said, it was important to hear your response to some of these questions. So let's talk about, all politics is local. Let's talk about your constituents. And I know you just mentioned you up for re-election next year. So have you done any polling about? Well, first question: any polling related to how some of the, how this has impacted your, how your constituents view you as in both your positions, mayor and I guess overall as a supervisor? And then I guess my second question is, what specific policies have you implemented to address any concerns that some of the trustees have brought forth? You talked about cutting this, cutting the salary in half. What other steps have you taken to address any concerns that any trustees or any other constituents may have?
Well, yes, we have done polls for my community. And believe it or not, a lot of people support me still, and that's the reason why they going hard. Right now, I love the fact that people are reading through the mess, and that's why I'm speaking on these platforms now, because I want to educate people and give them facts. I don't want people just make a decision off of feelings or emotions, And as it relates to policies, yes, I'm all about policies. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to do the bill for cancer, because I know what it feels like to go through that and not have help. So when I go and I advocate for funds for whether it's my mayorship or whether it's the township, I make sure I keep the people in mind and I ask them what are their needs. And they tell me their needs, and then we go and we advocate for it. And thank you so much for all those that helped and supported it. We come back and we create budgets and we create programs. We gave over 80 people with kids, youth, scholarships, 80. And they got up to $2,500. We also did 429 kids for Stop the Bleed and CPR. Because you know about all the shootings and things that's going on in communities. These are things that people don't talk about, the real work, the real things that I actually do in my communities. And I'm going to keep on advocating for that. So yes, to your question.
Jonquil.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. What I wanted to ask specifically is, different than his question, is that regardless of the outcome, if the FBI is pursuing an investigation and you do get some vindication as it relates to their investigation, but how do you go about restoring public trust, right? The public trust, because whenever, it calls for all of these different allegations and then you're on national news, that's essentially what you've lost, right? Is the public trust. And so how are you going to gain that back? In addition to that, with all of these lawsuits, 26 lawsuits sounds exhausting, okay, for the amount of time that you've been in office. And frankly, have you instituted any countersuing measures or any other legal measures to prevent this cycle from continuing?
Yes.
Twofold.
Okay. So, yes, I'll start backwards. So, yes, we're countersuing the Board of Trustees for all the illegal things that they do. And we're working on that. And you will hear me speak to that at my board meeting on Monday because it said that people have allowed the outside to interfere with the day-to-day operation of our village. And people are convincing, I would say, certain individuals that both my titles are one, and it's not. I have one title as supervisor, one title as mayor. So it's two different budgets, two different boards, and we do two different things. And I just want the world and everybody to understand how we're going to move forward as it relates to public trust. That's why I'm speaking today on Roland's platform, and I appreciate him for giving me the opportunity to do so because it is only one-sided narratives out there. And I want the world to know my heart and my passion for community because I don't know nobody that will sit in a seat, take all the smoke that I take, be in the fire, and still keep pushing. A lot of people would have quit. A lot of people would have did worse off things than this. And I choose to stay prayed up, stay focused. I let God lead my steps. And I love everybody that be praying for me and sending me uplifting quotes and things like that. So I need that because I'm still human and I'm still going through the emotions, but I'm telling my story. I'm telling my truth and I'm stating it with facts. I'm not just out here lip boxing is what I call it. I'm literally showing you the proof. So now it's up to that resident or that person to choose what they believe or what they don't believe.
Mustafa.
Well, Mayor Henry, thank you for being here. Also, thank you for being a young mayor because we need more.
Yes.
You know, my question is, you've garnered a lot of wisdom probably through the trials and tribulations that you have went through to date. Looking back, would there be anything that you would do differently in the beginning of your administration to help to be able to navigate some of the situations or hopefully even, you know, eliminate some of these challenges that have been put in front of you?
Yes, I will watch the people I choose to put on my ticket because you never know. People will play nice, act like they for you and your vision, run on that vision, and then get in and do the opposite of what we told the people. Our job is to make sure we deliver what we told the people we was going to do. If we said we're going to fix the town, improve the town, increase economic development, increase the police department, uplift areas, uplift morale, we should do that. And that's what I want people to do today. I want people to call elected officials out on their mess. It's a lot of people that talk the talk but can't walk the walk. The difference with me and them is I run circles around everybody that was before me. I put in the work day in, day night, day out, and I don't stop. I don't sleep because I really love what I do. This is not a job to me. This is a passion of mine, and you got to have a heart for people in order to stay in this because a lot of people, as I stated before, would have been quit.
How do you separate the two jobs? So when I was talking about, for instance, when I mentioned the criticism regarding security detail, do you have established hours that this is when I'm doing the city of Dolton work, and when that stops, does your detail then go away? Because if you're doing Thornton's work, so you got two different jobs, and so how do you deal with that to make sure that the taxpayers of Dolton aren't paying for things when you're doing stuff for Thornton Township?
Well, what people don't understand is that your security go wherever you go. So wherever I go, the security goes because that's how the threats come. Sometimes it could be coming out of Village Hall. I'll give you an example. When we was trying to do Kumbaya, me and my board, this is when I first got in office, we had two individuals jump out the bushes on us. The bushes. When I say myself and I'm gonna say Trustee Stan Brown was left to defend ourselves, my entire board ran. All of them. The men, the women, everybody ran, got in the car. We was left defending against this individual. Come to find out, 5 minutes later, call somebody else. This man pull up in a raper man van, jumps out, and start bickering with us. And then you had one trustee filming in their car. I didn't have no security. I didn't have anything when I first started. That's how bad it's gotten. So
you're saying that, look, because you are the mayor and these threats continue, then you require that detail at all times. So when your critics like former police chiefs say, oh, there was massive overtime bills and they were accompanying her everywhere, multiple people, you say because of those threats.
Yeah, it's plenty of threats. We got it documented. So it's not we're making it up. It's certain things that we have been showing the public, telling the public, but it's up to people on what they believe.
Have you also filed anything with the state police?
Yes, we have. With
And
several different agencies. We give them all the documents, which I think you have some of them, and we show them the threats. We show them the arrests. We have all kinds of things that go on that the public don't even know about as relates to threats to even staff. That's how bad it's gotten. People just pull up Village Hall and come in and threaten. What they do to anybody? They came to work for a job. And it's sad because there's so many shootings and things going on. People's mental is off. So you have to be secured. If you're not, then anything can happen. So I hate that people looking at it so lightly, like they don't see what's going on. Look what just happened in that church. You don't know when is when. You don't know.
You mean Lakewood Church in Houston?
Yes. It's sad. So what do we do? And it's said that we have to debate over it when it's already budgeted for, when it's already in the CBA. It's already there. So why are we having a conversation about something that's already allotted, something that already was done in the past?
When you mentioned $15,000 grants brought to the city, what does that involve?
So it's $15 million overall, but it's 9.2 for townships, 6.8 for Dolton. So basically, what I do is
again, that's why I have to separate.
Yeah.
So when you say $15 million, that's not just for Dalton.
Correct.
That's also for the township.
Correct.
And
that's
so,
the breakdown.
So again, talking about your travel, what have you brought in, and what have we brought in for the city?
Okay.
Separate from the township.
The money? What do you want?
Yes.
What do you have? 6.8. It's for the village.
For the village.
For the village of Dolton.
Got it.
So basically, that's in our budget, which the board tried to take it out at the last board meeting. The attorneys had to tell them, you got to put it in there because the money comes down. That's additional
resources that you brought into the city.
Into my city, Dolton.
From what, state, federal?
Yes,
what? Okay.
yes. So now you just wait till the money trickle down. We got $1 million that should hit in the next month.
For
reimbursement. It's for reimbursement. So it's all kinds of ways you get money, but you have to be in the room. You have to be in the place. People are always talking, but if you never leave this space, how do you know what's out there? How do you know what to get and come back and recreate it in your space? That's what I do. I go and I see what other towns are doing, and I go and sometimes I might mimic and I might put my own sauce on it. And what I mean by my own sauce, I might use my creative vision and say, okay, they had a slide right here. I might want to do a slide, but a water slide. Or I might want to do a run-through slide. Like, it's up to you. That's what the youth is about. And I think that's what the problem is. Our community, our nation, they need hope. They need something to believe in. I am the beacon of light for the soft land. I will redevelop the soft land no matter what they say. They could keep on talking. And throughout the whole controversy, I've still been doing that. I've been building an ice skating rink, a roller skating rink, outdoor, bigger than Rockefellers. Did I get any news play on that? Nothing. It can't be, and that's what I want people to ask themselves. How is it that the news just write all negative things about this woman? All negative. She did not one thing correct, not one. That's how you know when things are going left. That's how you know when everybody here is involved. Because I do a lot of positive things. I got a mental health tour that we go into the schools and we talk directly to the kids. And because I look like them, because I can go on their level and I dance with them, talk to them, because I do those things, they talk to me back and they tell me they're dealing with mental illness. And I've gotten several families help by just going into the school, doing what I do, being me, helping people. But they don't tell y'all that. But I film it and I broadcast it on our social medias, on our websites, and I talk about it in my mayor's report at my board meetings. Because I want people to see what it is I do. Judge me for the work, because no matter what, my work speaks for itself. They can say whatever, but my work gonna speak.
Speaking of that, you announced you're launching something on Spotify and YouTube. Mm-hmm. You got time for that? Between being the mayor of a city and then also supervisor, you got time for that?
Well, yes, I do, because it's basically just filming my life in a sense. It's me talking to you, for instance, answering questions, and all we're doing is just putting it in a platform like you have here. So people can learn for themselves, get the evidence, because all we're gonna do is upload what I'm saying to you, whether it's the ordinance, whatever they're talking about, and prove it to them. Like I do in my board meetings, I show a slideshow about this what they said, but here's the truth.
Do you believe, and have you thought about it? If you look back at the things that you've done, and you mentioned the skit at the board meeting, mm-hmm. Do you believe that you've made some mistakes? Do you believe that, do you think that you are too flashy, too
Outspoken.
No, I won't say outspoken because first of all, I ain't got a problem with outspoken.
Okay.
But I also understand the reality of politics and how people perceive politicians.
Yeah.
And and some believe they might be doing too much. What you're saying is, no, this is who I am, so therefore I'm reaching a whole new audience.
Correct.
But have you thought about things that you've done since you've been mayor where you say, you know what, I shouldn't have done that?
Of course, we're not perfect. Nobody is. We human beings. I tell people that all day long. But what I will say, I want people to just love on people. I can miss me with the mess, and we're going to lay it to rest today, and that's why I'm here to say, hey, let's do better. And all I could do is do this when I have conversations with the mayor, and I ask them, how do you feel, meaning the residents, because they are my voters. Them the ones that I have to answer to. And they'll tell me, like how you're asking, do you think you should have did this different? Yes, a lot of things I should have done different or could have done different. But guess what? You have to try. And then when you try and it's a mistake, guess what? It's not too late. This is how I talk to the kids. Now you go and you fix it. What matters is how you come out of it. Because we're going to go through it, but we need to grow through it. And I tell my kids this all the time, and they are understanding that. It's almost like second chance programs, things of that nature. Yeah, your kid made a mistake because you don't know who it could be. It could be your kid. Your kid could be at the wrong place, wrong time, and get the same sentence as somebody else. But are you gonna throw your baby away? No, because the kids come right back in our communities that live with grandma, granddad, everybody that's in that community, and they need a job. So how do we help them? We can't throw them away because they made a mistake. That's called life. It's called testimony. It's a test.
So you've got all this dissension, all this rancor, you've got the lawsuits going back and forth. All it's doing is wasting time, money, energy.
Correct.
How do you resolve this issue with with your trustees?
2025.
That's a whole year.
It's a whole year. But I lasted 3 years of all this back and forth, and I think the residents are tired of it, and I think they see it for what it is. Smear campaign.
All right. Mayor Henyard, we appreciate it, and we'll see what happens next in this ongoing saga.
Okay.
All right, thanks a bunch.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right. Gotta go to a break. We'll be right back. Roland Martin Unfiltered right here.